Welcome back, everyone, to Radiant Resilience. I am chatting with my bestie, Kellen Van Laere, today. If you want more about Kellen, go back to episodes 2 and 20. You can get her bio and her backstory and all the things she shared on the pod. But welcome back, friend.
Hi. Thanks for having me back as always.
Thanks for doing this. I was so excited. I just love talking to my friends on this. It's like my favorite thing to do. I've had a lot of amazing guests that I didn't know, but it's the best when I get to talk to my best friends.
Yeah.
So, we are going to touch on an interesting topic today, and we'll just kind of see how the conversation goes. But at the time that we are recording this, Mother's Day is coming up. And again, if you go back and listen to one of Kellen's earlier episodes, you can get the backstory of her parents who both passed away from health issues. So Mother's Day can be quite challenging for both of us for different reasons. So I don't know. How are you feeling leading up to it?
Honestly, I haven't even really thought too much about it. Mostly just with planning what to do with the day, because my husband, of course, is, what do you want to do? And
Well, and
I've,
you are a mom as well. So Kellen is a mom, but she no
yes,
longer has her mom to celebrate.
yes. So Mother's Day is a little bittersweet for me because yes, I, am a mom. It's fun to get to celebrate that with Calvin, but at the same time, I don't have my mom. Mother's Day has kind of been a hard day for me ever since I lost my mom because it's just one more day of a reminder that she's not here. So it can be really tough, and it's gotten a little bit easier over the last few years, but at the same time it's bittersweet for sure.
How
Yeah.
many years has it been since your mom died now?
Oh gosh. December will be 7 years.
Okay.
No, 8 years.
Okay.
Eight
This
years.
upcoming December.
This upcoming December will be 8 years. Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I guess this would be my seventh without my mom. So yeah.
Yeah. So you're finding it hard to figure out what you want to do with the day for yourself.
Yeah, it's hard because then I also have my mother-in-law who I love and adore, but also it is kind of my day, quote unquote, to be able to kind of do what I want to do. So it's kind of been a tough tightrope to walk because I don't really, being a mom, you're always kind of on, and especially working like between work and home life and everything, you're kind of just always around other people.
Yeah.
I am a person who really enjoys my alone time, and I
Yeah.
never really get any of that anymore.
We should talk about that too. Like the societal expectation of moms spending Mother's Day with their kids. Like, I can't tell you, you are not the only mom that has told me they want Mother's Day by themselves with
Yes,
quiet and no kids around.
right? But I also I just leave me alone. Like I don't want to go out with anybody. Like I love my mother-in-law, but I don't even want to do anything with her. Like I want to just I either want to curl up and read a book or I want to binge watch a TV show that I want to watch, but I want to do it by myself in
Yeah.
my own house with quiet, and everything. And it's hard because I did get that for a couple years, like the first couple years of Mother's Day. My husband, anything that I wanted to do, he was more than happy to oblige. So he would take Calvin over to my in-laws and cook brunch over there and spend a good majority of the day over there. But then I get the guilt trip of well, I wanted to see you too. You're from my mother, anybody else that was but I wanted to spend time with and she always is more than understanding and everything too. But I kind of struggle with that of yes, I would love to spend time with other people, but also at the same time, can we do that another day? And I can just be alone.
Yeah, and yeah, totally. And I think that, you shouldn't be, mother-in-laws aside, like as far as being a mom to Calvin, like you shouldn't be made guilty for doing what you want to do in that regard. Like it's okay if you want to break. Like mothering is hard. Like you just said, it's a lot of work and you're always doing it. And so to have that, that's a big gift to just not have to be mom for the day,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's okay. And I don't think we should shame any of the moms that want that space.
Yeah.
But, before we started recording, I was telling Kellen too that I have a mom, and obviously, like, Mother's Day is hard for me because of my infertility stuff. And I feel the same way. Like, I want to celebrate my mom. It's like, I'm sure you want to celebrate your mother-in-law, you want to be celebrated, but like, maybe a different day. Like, suggestion. Like, can we not do it on Mother's Day when everyone else is out, everyone else is celebrating? Because, yeah, you probably get triggered by seeing other people with their moms too.
I definitely can. I mean, it's like, and that's where I said, like, I say, like, it is bittersweet because, like, when I have like those like miss my mom, like, kind of sad moments, I do kind of have those like positive, like, joyful moments with Calvin because, like, and especially the older he gets and the more he's like preschool, so they're making some sort of project at school. They like, the teachers are very much like, tell the kids do not spoil anything. So he's like, we're making something for you at school, mom, but I can't tell you what it is. So that's really cute. Like, especially the older he gets, like, it kind of becomes a little bit more like him doing something for me on Father's Day than it is like my husband doing something for me on Father's Day or Mother's Day. But I mean, I do it for him on Father's Day too. But so it is. I mean, I do. It just like makes me think about my mom and like this year so far. I mean, honestly, like I've been okay. I'm sure. Like the closer it gets to it, like I'm sure some of the feelings will come up, and that day, there will be feelings for sure too. But there's been years in the past where like I have dreaded the day, like leading up for like weeks leading up to it. So it's nice to like not really have that feeling this year. Like I'm like, yeah, Mother's Day, like, all right, what are we doing? Like, so I feel like this year I've just been like, just tell me where you need me to be.
I guess that's a step up from being like dreading it, but if you're just kind of indifferent to it too, that's probably not great.
Right.
But I don't know, like I've already started, I mean, a while ago, I started getting, the Mother's Day emails and like for gifts, for this, for that. And like, does any of that trigger you at all? Or does it not bother you?
No, not really. Cause I just like, if I don't have to like actually think about shopping for something, like, I'll see the email, but I'll be like, I don't need that. I'll just like delete the email,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So not usually, which I feel like is kind of one of those odd things that I probably should be triggered by, but like I'm not
Well,
usually. So,
that's good. I mean, everybody has their different triggers, right? Like,
right.
it's not always the same for each of us, but one of
Yeah.
my least favorite holiday Mother's Day memories that I have, I can't remember how early on this was. It might have been like in the very beginning of my infertility stuff, but it was me and my husband, both of my siblings. So my middle sister had my niece and my nephew, my mom and stepdad, and then my grandparents. All of us went out to like brunch, like most people do on Mother's Day.
Is
And
the thing to do.
the place that we went to was giving flowers to all the moms at the table. So my grandma got one. My mom got one, my sister got one, and I sat there and bawled my eyes out at the table.
Like that's so hard. Like when you want to be a mom so bad and you are just surrounded by other moms and like that just like, well, you're not actually a mom, so you don't get a rose today.
Way to fucking point it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's already a hard day, and I was like putting on my happy face to go out and celebrate my mom and my grandma and my sister, who all
Right.
deserve to be celebrated. But like, I was like, wow, way to just stick the knife in and twist it.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I just cried at the table, and I've never asked any of my family if anybody ever noticed that. So I tried. It wasn't like I was like actively just like sobbing at the table. I was like trying to keep it together, but
There's
Colin,
like a tear here and a tear
yeah,
there.
I was like turning away from everybody. It was the worst. And so after that, I had asked my mom if we could do Mother's Day not on Mother's Day. Um,
Yeah.
Because like I said, I want to celebrate my mom. I want to celebrate all the moms in my life. Going out on that day and seeing it being made a big ordeal with everybody is really hard. So
Yeah.
I imagine you have similar feelings in some regard to that with not having your mom.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that like I could go out with her, and do brunch with like her and Calvin or just her, like
Oh,
I do miss that because my mom used to just like, I mean, she was pretty much retired. Gosh, by the time I was like in my early 20s, but then she like still worked. It's like, aren't you supposed to be retired? And so, but like her schedule was like really open. So a lot of times, like, especially when I first started my business and I would have like long lunch breaks or like bigger gaps in my schedule as I was still building, she would call me randomly and be like, hey, what's your day like? And I was like, oh, I've got, this or this or that. She's like, do you want to do lunch or breakfast? Or sometimes if I didn't have to go in until later, we would go. There used to be a Village Inn right by my office before they tore it down. And so we would go to Village Inn or we would go to my mom loves Mexican food or loved Mexican food. So we would always go to like some Mexican restaurant or whatever was close to my office. She's like, well, how much time do you have? Do we need to go, stay by your office or do we need to go can you go further away?
aw.
So I do miss that kind of the spontaneous lunches that I used to be able to have with her and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just a weird day, and there's so many, I feel like it's like Mother's Day is so Hallmark that like people just expect like, okay, flowers and cards and let's celebrate the moms. But like I feel like almost everybody I talk to has some sort of like a bad connotation towards Mother's Day, like whether it's infertility or a child loss or like maybe you have a terrible relationship with your child. And like I have several like older clients that like don't even have relationships with their kids anymore, like they're grown kids, or people that have lost their moms, or people just that for some reason or other don't have a very good relationship with their mom, or it could be like any sort of the spectrum. So I feel like it's just like Mother's Day can be hard on so many different levels and people don't really like talk about that side of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because again, it's like back to the like societal expectations of like, well, you're just supposed to celebrate these people who are moms. Like, you're
Yeah.
not supposed to struggle with it.
Right? Until you're a mom, you're supposed to be so happy that you're a mom and forget
Right.
about all the times where you want to strangle your child because they're not listening to you.
God forbid you want quiet time.
Right?
You should want to spend Mother's Day with your child. Like, no.
I think the moms that have discovered like going on a girls' trip or like spending a night in a hotel, those are the genius moms. And if you were doing that for Mother's Day, girl,
We should do that.
yeah, we should.
I would love to spend Mother's Day with you in a hotel somewhere
New plan.
next year.
Next year. I'm putting it on my calendar now.
Yes, that we could do a book reading. I have so many ideas. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a couple Mother's Days in the past because it's hard for me where I've completely shut my all technology off, like for
Yeah.
the entire day because I can't see all the posts. I don't, and yeah, I'm happy for everybody who's been able to be a mom and who still has their moms around and who have good relationships with their moms. But like, you know, it's so triggering to see all the family photos and the this and that and everybody celebrating in different ways that I just like there was one year specifically that I shut my phone like off for hours and Colin was working and I told him, I'm like, don't try to contact me. Phone will be off. I think it's the most successful I've ever been, not on a vacation, with shutting my phone off.
That's brilliant.
I had the best day.
Yeah. But good for you for like honoring like what you needed too, of just like, I'm not even gonna let myself like be triggered
Mhm.
and like just give yourself the space to like just do what you need to do for yourself too. So
Yeah,
that
it was
takes a
great.
lot in itself.
Yeah, it was great. I got so much done with my phone off too.
Right? You can be so distracted.
Yeah, not looking at it all the time, not because every time I pick my phone up, you get sucked into the social media, you get sucked, you probably went to look for something totally different. And then next thing you know, it's been 20 minutes of scrolling Instagram.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, so turning it off, like, I think I did a bunch of baking. I think I did a bunch of reading. I think at the time I was recording a bunch of like social media stuff for work. I got so much done.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't know, but it's tough. It's tough. So,
Yeah.
but so do you have similar feelings about Father's Day?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Honestly, I struggle the most with my dad. I struggle the most with the day that he died in December. Usually, like Father's Day and his birthday, just like, because my dad was just like that, like, just so outgoing, wanted to be like having fun all the time that, like, that kind of summer vibes of just that's how he was in the summer just like comes through. So it's not as like, it makes me miss him for sure because he would have been such a great grandpa too. Like, and so that does kind of like I think about it, on Father's Day. I think Father's Day just it doesn't trigger me as much as Mother's Day because I don't know. Mother's Day is so much more of a holiday than Father's Day is, which I feel like is also like just a note to how our society is that we like have to celebrate moms more than we do dads. There's days where my husband does way more parenting than I do.
Men just don't care. Maybe this is a totally wrong statement, but I think men don't care as much either. I don't know.
I think it depends on the person too, but
Yeah, probably. Like, I feel like women are like, "Ugh, I want to be acknowledged for all the momming that I do," where guys are just kind of like, yeah, I'm a dad. I don't know.
right, that's true.
But I don't know. I guess maybe not that they don't want to be celebrated, but I don't know. I always wonder if it's triggering for Colin. And I mean, none of this really bothers him as much as it bothers me, but I'm always like,
Right.
"You okay? Is everything good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah. Your body had to go through so much more
Yeah.
than he did. He went through like the emotional side of it with
Yeah.
you, but your body physically went through so much more, to try to be a mom than, so I feel like you have a little bit more of an emotional tie to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think also they say there's that saying too that like a mother becomes a mom like the minute she finds out she's pregnant, and then like a dad doesn't become a dad until they see the baby.
Right.
Because it's like it's happening in our bodies. So you
Yeah.
have this like physical connection, it's there, where to them it's still sort of an abstract thing until the baby's like in their arms.
Right.
So I think there's that too, that like, he always wanted to be a dad, but like, it's not as real to him and stuff. And he always said that it was more the hardest part about all of it was watching me go through it all. So,
Sure. Yeah.
like you said, it was me doing all of the things, but I don't know. I always ask him, I'm always worried about him that like something is that he's just not telling me that he's upset or something, but he's pretty straightforward and he's pretty non-emotional. So he's probably telling me the truth, but I'm like, no, you can't possibly be okay. When I'm not okay on Mother's Day, you can't be okay on Father's Day. Come on. Maybe because maybe you're celebrating Jake. Does that make it different than like people trying to celebrate you or you trying to celebrate your mom? Like, I don't know. Like, is there a difference there?
I don't know why I do have kind of this weird, I call it a disconnect. I don't know really what else to call it, but with Mother's Day that I've told him several years that I just like, I don't feel like I want to be celebrated. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're a mom, you deserve to be celebrated. And I'm just like, and I think it's because, like, I miss my mom. I struggle with the day, so therefore my mind just goes, well, I can't celebrate her. So, like, why do I need to be celebrated? Kind of thing. But, like, I am a mom, yes. But I don't know. I don't know. It gets to that point where it's just like becomes like your day to day. So it's like, oh, to have this one day a year, to be celebrate that I do something for the other 364 days a year, So,
Or you're saying,
yeah.
and not just on a day that was dictated by whoever, like just
Yeah. Whoever invented Mother's Day.
yeah, and also, sorry, quick side note. Can we talk about how Mother's Day and Father's Day are a month apart? who the fuck decided that?
Right? Yeah. Like, we just needed to fit the fathers in before we forgot. Excuse me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like, I hate that they're back to back because it's like, I have to figure out Mother's Day plans and then I have to figure out Father's Day plans to celebrate with
Right?
everybody. And I'm like, could we have at least spread these out 6 months or something? Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then it kind of like makes it more fun because it's like, ooh, it has something to look forward to.
right. Yeah. But then it's like, all of a sudden I'm like, crap, we just did Mother's Day. Now it's Father's Day. Good Lord.
Yeah. Right? I know. We should Google this. Who invented Mother's Day
Yeah. Who
and Father's
determines the
Day?
days of these holidays and where they
Yeah.
came from? There's probably some actually interesting explanation.
I know, right? Maybe we should have done our research before this.
If anyone knows how Mother's Day and Father's Day got started and dates chosen, so send me a message.
Send a message, make a comment, send us a LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I could totally see where because you're not the one being celebrated on Father's Day, you're celebrating Jake, like that would feel different
Yeah.
versus, your mom and your dad too.
Yeah. I mean, Father's Day, like, and Mother's Day too. Like, I think Jake and I both do a really good job of like giving each other like whatever they want. Like for me, it's usually like just leave me alone. Like both of you. Like I love both of you, but just like go away. And then he's usually just like, well, I don't know, give me a beer and I whatever.
Maybe
And I'm always like, go
or
to a Rockies game or go do something with your dad or do something
yeah.
like we sometimes will go out to brunch or something with his family for Father's Day. But like again, it's just like that weird like Mother's Day is such a big deal. And then there's Father's Day is like,
Yeah, I don't know. Colin's gone golfing with his dad a couple times, and I think we've all gone to Rockies games before, which I'm like, can you guys just go? 'Cause I'm not a huge baseball fan,
I know.
and I don't know, that's a long time to spend with, my father-in-law.
The games are shorter now that they have the pitch clock, so it
Now that
goes
they have,
quicker.
oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're not like 4.5 hour games anymore.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I think I would rather Colin just go. Well, I mean, I have to spend it with my dad. So it's like, I don't know. I guess a lot of holidays are like that, right? Like trying to coordinate all the sides of the families and the in-laws, and then with this, it's you and then it's Jake also being celebrated. So then you're trying to, like, do you want to spend your Mother's Day with your in-laws? Like, I don't
Right.
Maybe we should reverse them. Like, especially for Calvin's sake, okay? So you're just gonna tell Calvin that Mother's Day is Father's Day, so he has to go spend the day with Daddy.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, because then he doesn't know. He's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Right.
And then on Father's Day, it's Mother's Day, and he has to go spend the day with Mommy.
I mean, in a way, it kind of is because like
Right.
Mother's Day, usually like Jake will like let me sleep in, and like so last year they took off in the morning and they went for a hike. Like last year was the nicest year that we've had in several years. Like it was really like bright, sunny. I remember I sat outside. I was finishing Throne of Glass. I was on Kingdom of Ash
We can talk
last year.
a little bit.
And so I remember sitting outside on the deck and like reading a book, and I got sunburned in like 45 minutes because it was like so bright and sunny.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. And then like the last, like the 2 years before that, it was like a gloomy, like rainy day, which like for me, because I was like, leave me alone. I just want to curl up in a ball. It was like, this weather matches my energy. I love it. So yeah. But last year, excuse me, sorry. Last year, Jake took Calvin for a hike, and because I had been guilt tripped the last 2 years before that for not doing anything with my in laws for Mother's Day, I was like, okay, fine. Just tell me what we're doing. Are we going out to brunch? Or are we just going over there for lunch or whatever? Like, I'll do something. So Jake was like, I'll still get Calvin out of your hair for a little bit. And they went up, they did a little hike, and then they came by and picked me up. And we went over to my in laws, and Jake made sandwiches or something. And we hung out, and then we came home and just hung out at home and everything. And it was good. It was a good day. Yeah, it's kind of where I struggle. Just like, I would have loved to just like, you go from the hike to your parents. But
I'm pretty lucky because I think when we had the pizzeria for so long, I feel like Colin and his parents always worked on those Sundays.
Yeah,
So we've just like gotten in the habit of celebrating Mother's Day and Father's Day with them on different days, and they don't really care. So
that's nice.
for my family, that's like, we're having a barbecue on Father's Day, come over, or my mom
Aw.
wants to go to brunch or whatever. So I am grateful that like, and they know, I have my family to celebrate. So it's like, we gotta balance it out somehow.
Yeah. Well, and especially too, I mean, you have your stepmom and then you have your mom and then you have your mother-in-law, so like
Yeah.
the more, components there are, it's kind of you have to juggle. You can't fit it all in one day anyways. So
Yeah.
like it's nice when somebody is willing to be like, we don't have to do it on that day.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mom's always asking my middle sister, like, what she want. Like, she's like, oh, I know, you're a mom and you have your mother-in-law and like, but like, she's like, can we go to lunch or can we do this? And I'm like, oh, she just wants to be left alone. She don't
Right?
want to do nothing. Like, it's the same thing. I think there's probably a lot of moms out there that just want to be alone.
Yeah. And honestly, like I love brunch for sure, but like going out to brunch on Mother's Day is like I'm sure they're overcharging. Like it's going to be packed, it's going to be crazy. Like
Reservation.
yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Yeah, and I feel like most moms are just like, can we just like do nothing? Or at least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like just like chill, reset, have a spa day.
It's a Sunday too, which most people have to. I mean, you and I have different schedules, but a lot of people have to work Mondays. So it's
Yeah.
not like you can, I don't know. I think that makes it even more appealing to have the Sunday of do nothing.
Right? Yeah, especially if you have to work the next day. Yeah.
Well, it is a polarizing day. It's pretty tough for a lot of people, like you said. And I think we need to acknowledge that for every different situation.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's kind of a side note, but I think it's weird, like, just like going back to the difference between like Mother's Day and Father's Day, like, when you talk to people, like, mom guilt is like such a thing. And like dads, you're like, there was a podcast I was listening to at one point, and it was like these two women, and they've had one of the husbands, like, did like guest appearances on this podcast sometimes. He was like a fan favorite. Like, all the people were like, bring him back on. And they did an episode on like mom guilt, and they were like, hey, dad, like, do you ever experience like dad guilt? And he straight up was like, no, like that is not something that like I experience. So that's like another like layer to the onion of like being a mom versus being a dad, and just like society and every like all the pressures of society and like all the rules that we're supposed to follow and like all the BS.
I think that there's a lot of shame too on moms for like struggling with parenting, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you have your parenting is fucking hard. Like, obviously, I don't
Yeah.
know from experience, but I'm not naive. I mean, I have a lot of friends and family that have kids, and like, it's
Your
fucking
nieces and
hard.
your nephews, like you've watched many kids.
And it's okay. It should be okay for you guys to like not be okay.
Right?
It doesn't mean you don't like your kid. It doesn't mean that you don't, you wish it was the opposite or anything like that. But like, it's fucking hard to be a mom. And then, with all the leaps and bounds that we've had with women being able to work and getting more rights and things like that, like now, I mean, as amazing as it is, we're also having to juggle so much more because
Yeah.
moms and working and keeping the house clean and all these things were like I feel like before it was like okay the moms cook and clean and take care of the kids and the dads work and they come home and they don't have to do any of that stuff but then it's
Right.
like there was never that expectation of like well you fucking worked all day so you better come home and cook and clean too.
Right. Yeah.
But for the women, that's I mean, and this isn't every scenario, obviously, but I think, like with women entering the workforce and having more rights and more freedoms and more things, that we want to have our own lives outside of just parenting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We're still expected to juggle all the fucking things and be happy about it the entire time.
Right. And just like, and even like when you do get a chance to like go out for a girls' night, or, like I kind of struggle with that because like I have book club and I have, friends that are like, let's go out and do this or let's go do that. And like, and Jake is a little bit more of a homebody. Like, yeah, he has friends, but I'm like, text them, go do things. Like, so like I feel guilty sometimes that I'm like, I've got this going on and then I've got that going on. So I'm gone this night and then I'm gone that night. And everything too. So like that's where I kind of get some mom guilt about like I'm constantly leaving my kid.
That's really important. I mean, I'm going to sort of put you on the spot with this question, but like, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit because I will tell you that being that I've experienced, my infertility and I'm child free, whatever, like all of my friends that are moms have not gotten completely lost and caught up in motherhood.
That's a good thing.
Right. I think it's very good and very healthy. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you, I guess, too, is that like that is okay. I understand where the mom guilt comes in for sure. But like, how do you think you manage to do that? Because I've seen so many women completely lose themselves to motherhood and don't know who they are. I actually had a client today who was just like, she has a 9-year-old and she was like, I have no fucking clue where the last 9 years went. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want to do. I don't like because she's been so focused on being a parent for 9 years
Right.
that she's like, I have no idea. She has a birthday next week and she's like, I don't know what happened.
I mean, I think it's easy for women to do because when you have this like new child, you just want to like throw yourself into them and like,
Sure.
to mold them into a good human being. But at the same time, like, I I am very proud of the women that like don't let themselves like get to a point where like their kid is their only thing, because I think it's important, and I think it's important to like still be yourself and enjoy the things that you enjoy, cuz yeah, being a parent is hard, and at the end of the day, my stress relief, going and reading before bed, and I can just kind of like calm down from the day, or having like the little moments of just like doing something for myself and like filling my cup back up, so then that way I can be more of a genuine parent towards Calvin and everything in at the end of the day. And I just like, I think it's important for him to see me go out and still like live my life too. Like, yeah, we are parents and we love you and we're gonna, mold you into this good person. But at the same time, like, we're not gonna stop living our lives because we brought you into it. So I'm glad that you have a lot of friends that like haven't lost to that, because like it can be really easy to do. And I think you kind of have to make the effort of like, go out and do the date nights, like make sure you have a babysitter, and or like go out with your girlfriends and continue to like have those friendships and everything too, because at some point your kid's gonna be a teenager and not want anything to do with you, and then you're gonna be stuck at the house with like nothing to do.
I mean, doing hair for so long, like I've worked with so many women at different stages of their lives, and that, like, I remember talking to women whose kids were turning 18, leaving the house, going to college, becoming adults, like, and they were having a massive identity crisis, which you
Yeah,
probably still do regardless because you've spent
for
the
sure.
last 18 years, like, even though you've done a really good job, like, keeping yourself and your identity in this, like, you still have to parent. So when they leave, that's obviously a big change. But I think it's probably a little bit easier for someone like you versus these, other women who have lost themselves in that because it's inevitable. It's gonna, well, I guess not for everybody, it's inevitable, but for most people, kids are going to move out of the house. They're going to go have their own lives, and you're going to have to find out who you are without
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and especially like as we move through stages of our lives, I mean, we have midlife crises, and we have,
Yes, we do.
yeah, and especially as women, as we go through perimenopause, like that's another like massive life shift and everything in our lives too. That like I feel like again, we can tend to kind of lose those bits and pieces of ourselves. So it's constantly like just trying to hold on to like who you are and what you enjoy, and just like that's gonna make you such a happier person. years and decades later of just like having a more fulfilled life of like, yeah, I was a parent, but I also did this and I also did that. And, and everything. So when you look back, you're not just like, well, what did I do? I was just a parent. My life was my kid. And,
Yeah.
which, yes, it should be, but
Sure. Right. Yeah. It's not like we're saying like neglect your kid and just do you.
yes, yeah, not saying that.
No, but it is important to keep yourself. And okay, again, let's go. I'm gonna pull a woman empowerment thing here for a minute. Like, they don't want us to have identities. So, full little fuck the patriarchy moment. But like,
Ugh.
like again, so important to hold on to who we are and what we like and holding on to our independence and the things that we like to do. And there's absolutely no shame in those who just like throw themselves into motherhood. Like, I get how that happens, and more power to you. I'm glad. But, like, I do think it's probably more healthy to have your identity. And so, sorry. Yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, if there's like, I don't know, because I've known you since you had Calvin, and do you feel like you struggled with that in the beginning, especially, maybe with the mom guilt and then trying to do your own things? I think it's probably hard to find that balance, especially early on.
Yeah, I feel like I struggled with it more when he was a baby
Yeah.
because I wanted to be around him all the time, and especially when I was nursing, I was like, well, I'd rather nurse him than like somebody give him a bottle or, and mostly I really struggled with like milk production. So the more I could nurse, the easier it was for me to like keep my milk going. So I feel like I actually like really struggled to like get out and like do things when he was younger, but then like the older he gets and like everything now I'm like, girls night, yes please, I'm in.
Disney trip? Yes, please.
Yep, that too.
Same kid?
But so yeah, I feel like it was, and that's maybe like how women like tend to get to that because like when
Yeah.
they are
Sure.
babies and they need more of our attention, like it is easy for them to just like become our whole world. And then as they get older and they don't need you as much, but like you still kind of need them, I feel like maybe that's kind of where that happens. But I feel like for myself, like I need those times away. Like it just makes me love him so much more when I do get those moments of like some time by myself or, going out to dinner or going on a Disney trip or, whatever it might be. Like I always come back and I'm just like, oh my God, I missed you. I love you. Like, you know,
Same way about my husband.
so
What they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I
Like,
was just going to say that.
well, great minds. Yeah, it's so true. Like, to get that space from them, you start to appreciate them more. I don't know. I had another friend a while ago who said they're a better parent when they get that space. And of course, you miss your kid while you're gone and not with them and all that stuff. But like, and then it also, if you're doing things that make you happy, it makes you a healthier person to then be a healthier parent. Because they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. Is that the
Yes.
analogy or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think that goes for a lot of different situations and parenting, especially. Like, if you're completely drained, depleted, depressed, you don't know what's going on, like, how are you possibly going to be a good parent then?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. Well, good job. I'm proud of you. And also, thank you.
Thank you.
Bottom line is like, I just can't, I don't have, like, infertility aside, I don't have a way to relate to those women. Like, I just can't have those conversations. I can't like talk about baby formula. I can't talk about, and I love to hear about your guys' kids, and I love to hear about Calvin, and I love to talk to Calvin, and I love to, like, but at the same time, like, I can't relate to you on certain parenting things because I'm just not doing it. So, so then if I'm with somebody that's all they can talk about, and that's all they care to talk about, then it's like, we can't, I don't even know how to connect with that.
Yeah. Well, and like I don't know how it is for other people, but like personally, like when I'm out with you, like yeah, we might touch base on like, oh, what's going on with Calvin or this, that, or the other. But like, we're also talking about like everything else that's happening in our lives, or, a current event, and we're chatting about that. Like, it's nice to not have to always just like talk about your kid too. Like,
Yeah.
when you're out
Yeah,
away
break.
from them,
Yeah.
yeah, like when you're away from them, like you don't want to like just like be talking about them the whole time either. Like, I as a mom kind of get annoyed by the people that just like constantly talk about their kids all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't know. I had a client many years ago who, like, she was pregnant at the time she was coming to me, and I tried to redirect that conversation a million times, and all she could talk about was being pregnant.
Which is hard for you, especially.
Yeah, and again, though, like, infertility emotions aside, like, yeah, that was hard, but like, I've never been pregnant, dude. I can't, like, and I don't want to just sit there and talk about your pregnancy the entire time. Like,
For hours.
sure, like, tell me you've been sick. Tell me, this. Tell me that. I don't mind hearing those things, but like, I would literally, it was 2 hours of trying to redirect the conversation, and it would always come back to that. I'm like, how is this happening? But
Apparently, she had a boring life.
yeah, maybe that's it. That's not much else was happening. Yeah, it was okay too, I suppose. But
Right.
I mean, how has that been? I'm gonna put you on the spot with this one too. How has that been for you being my friend? Let's talk about the other side of that. Just because I know this is like a really, really hard topic for a lot of infertile people. Like we all talk about it, but I don't think we talk to our friends enough about like it's hard for you guys too, probably to like not know what to say to like upset us or like I don't know. Talk about it from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've had enough conversations of like, and you've told me like the things that, or like the ways that you wish that people would like talk to you about it. Like if they're going to talk about their kids or they're going to talk about a pregnancy or whatever it may be. So, which I found very helpful because like I do want to honor like your feelings and like how you're going to react to it. So I don't know. I have kind of I feel like now I'm at a better place in it because we talk like daily and everything, and I've been through I mean pretty much like the whole journey with you
Yeah.
because you started as a client with me when you were still just trying naturally. Like you guys were just starting like trying to figure out like if there was any infertility stuff. And so like I have yeah, it's like it was like 2018.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you started as a client. And then like our relationship and our friendship just like blossomed from there. And so I feel like seeing the literal like transformation of Tawny from like everything you've been through like too I've grown alongside you, so I've learned how to like honor your feelings. And so and then there's been times where I'm like I don't know how to say this to you about things, and like so I have done like hey I want to say this, like I hope that's okay, or I apologize, or I'll say it and apologize on the back end. And like I feel like when you're not in the space or you don't really want to talk about it, you get a little bit shorter with your responses, and then that's kind of my cue that I just like okay this isn't a topic that like I'm going to continue on with. But I love you so much as a friend that like being a mom post like you not having to be able to be a mom, like I so wish that like we would have been able to like experience that whole journey together. But life is a bitch sometimes.
Yes.
But I love like Calvin loves you, and I love that like I can like talk to you about those things, and and I can still be a support for you for wherever your journey is going to continue to take you as well. But yeah, I mean there has been hard times or moments where I'm like I want to talk to you about something. And I feel like there's probably been a couple times where I've just been like, I'm just like, I don't know how to, so I'm just gonna not, because I would rather like not talk to you about it than like upset you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I've always said like the asking thing is a really good thing to do, like, are you in a good place? Like, can I talk to you about this? Or, that's not a bad, because I probably will never say no if you ask me that. Like, I would have to be in a very dark place to say no. But it at least,
People pleasing Tani over here. I said people pleasing Tani.
right? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I can do it. But I will say it does at least give me a heads up that it's coming. And I can go, okay, let's do this.
Right.
Versus just like laying something on me, right? So, that's always a good thing. But, I guess caution is also if you're like, oh, maybe I just won't bring it up. That's hard too, because like I want to be a support to all my friends too. And I think you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I've gotten a lot better now than probably earlier on. I hope that you feel a little bit more comfortable with some of that stuff coming to me.
Yeah, and
But
you have grown tremendously in like I feel like you I would say triggers, like things that used to trigger you like a lot more. I like don't as much, and you have put in so much work in yourself and healing yourself through all of your infertility. It's actually quite amazing to see how you've come out of it because it was not easy to go through. And as a friend who loves you so much, it was not easy to watch for sure.
you're probably one of the few, and that's why I asked you that question, because you're probably one of the few that stuck around.
Oh,
And for a multitude of reasons, whether it was, me cutting off a friendship or them cutting it off, like a lot of people didn't know, maybe still don't know how to fucking deal with me in these situations. And so, I lost friends that went on to have kids because they were like, I don't know.
right.
And so not that it was like again like a tumultuous, big blow up or anything like that, but I think you sticking around the entire time and being able to watch the whole thing from the inside too, you have a different perspective on it. And so
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was you really like intrigued me when you were saying that what did you say about my answers being short?
Yeah. And I can't, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to give you like a specific example, but I feel like there's been things where I've mentioned something and I can just like kind of tell by like the way that you would respond of like, okay, yeah, she doesn't want to talk about this.
That's something you're probably, like you just know because we just talked about it. We've almost had 10 years as friends. So like
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just think it's interesting because I feel like I have a lot of conversations, about my side of the friendships and I do want to acknowledge that like your side of it is not easy either, to because I do understand that most people don't want to hurt my feelings. They're not trying to be assholes. They want to help, they want to say the right thing, but then they just don't sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I have said the wrong thing so many times in the past, but it comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
For
Well, and I
sure.
think that, again, like if you do fuck up and you say something and later you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said, like acknowledging it is huge,
Yeah.
like just being like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Right. I mean, I'm queen of putting my foot in my mouth, so.
Well, you also own up to shit too. You're not naive. You're just like, fucked up.
My bad.
Yeah. It's not like, well, I didn't mean to do that. Like, obviously you didn't mean to do that, but it's okay if it happens.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. So thank you for giving that perspective because I know, there's a lot of people that listen to me and like you said have learned a lot from what I've said, but and also I do want to acknowledge, and if this isn't okay, let me know and I'll cut it out. Like you struggled yourself as well. So like to
Yeah.
so, a lot of, obviously you didn't do IVF and stuff like that. But I think that anybody that has struggled to any capacity understands the compounding, shit that I've been through.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I feel like that was kind of like a catalyst for our relationship. I feel
Mhm.
like too, because you were starting to do a lot more of the IVF stuff of doing, the egg retrievals and everything. And it was like COVID basically. And yeah, and I was thankful that like, my struggles with getting pregnant were taking a pill to force my body to ovulate. And that was my thankfully what helped, but I think the hardest part for me was being pregnant and like still like wanting to support you through your infertility journey and knowing that like I had what you wanted so badly, but I still wanted like you to like be in my life and like wanted to be a support, but I know you like didn't want to see me, not like in a bad way, but like you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
no, I totally get that. I mean, I think that, yeah, I mean, that would be hard.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the hardest part of like of everything because like you were such in the thick of like IVF stuff and and then there I am pregnant. A lot easier than like, you had to be you were dealing with and everything and but yeah, I mean, and then after that, I think as soon as I had Calvin and like it was less cuz I remember you telling me at one point you were like it's more like you're like I'm fine with the babies. It's like the pregnancy part.
It's the weirdest thing. I still have not been able to psychoanalyze the entire thing, but it's still that way. Yes.
Right. Yeah. What I mean, but that's the first step. It's like, yeah, you have to get pregnant first and then you have the baby. And so like there I totally get that. Like that made sense to me that I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally understand like where that feeling is." And you had a fibroid surgery and I was still on maternity leave and I had Calvin and we were going to meet up for coffee and I didn't I didn't think about it that like I had this baby and I was going to be bringing this baby with me and I like was and then I had a moment of panic of like, "Oh my god, I have Calvin with me. Is that okay?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine with the babies."
I tell my friends that all the time. I'm like, I want the birth pictures. I want, like, give me all. I want to know. I want to know when you have them. I want to know. I don't know what it is about. And I mean, sure, I probably get a little bit sad when I see the babies because I would like one, but like,
Yeah.
it's not nearly as triggering as the pregnancy announcements. And I
Sure.
couldn't tell you why.
Well, because that's like the one thing that you've never gotten, like you tried so hard for, and like just, I mean, it's step one, getting that positive pregnancy test, and then step two, getting, having the pregnancy, and then getting to the baby, and then the whole journey after that. But like,
Maybe that's it too, because like I've been able to experience not the birth, obviously, but like the babies. Like I had my
yeah,
niece, I've been around my niece and nephew since the day they were born. Tara, my little sister, is 12 years younger. Like I got to experience her as a baby. All of my
yeah,
friends, I get to hold the babies. I can be involved in the babies. Like it's not, even though it's not mine, it's not an experience that I've missed out on, I've changed diapers. I haven't
yeah,
nursed, but, like I've fed bottles. I've done, like I've been peed on, I've been puked on, I've been, so maybe that's what it is it's like I will never at this point that I know of be able to experience pregnancy.
right,
So maybe
yeah.
that is the problem. Maybe it's just one of those things and a lot of people tell me I'm crazy for wanting to experience pregnancy, but
I mean, if you were pregnant by the time you were 9 months, you'd probably be singing a different tune. But
for sure, for sure, I respect that and I understand. Like it's one of those things like to grow a human life in your body, like that's pretty cool.
it's pretty crazy what our bodies can do. It is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, you've been an amazing friend, so I just wanted to say that. I
Aw,
mean, obviously,
well,
we wouldn't be where we are now if you weren't. So I'm grateful for you and everything that you've done and being there for me through all of it. And I just think it was important to share your side of it as well, because, like I said, I know that that could not have been easy at times as well.
yeah. But I'm so glad. And I cherish my friendship with you. And I am grateful every day
Me
to
too.
have you. So thank you
Okay, so
for,
before we end, we must talk books.
yes,
I mean, we'll try to not like do another hour of book talk. But okay, so you just finished Crescent City.
I did.
Yes, for first time through.
First time through.
I know a lot of people are rereading it now because, ACOTAR 6 and 7 are coming.
Yeah.
What were your overall thoughts and things about it?
Oh gosh. I mean, overall loved. I had one of my friends asked me out of all my Sarah J. Maas series, which one would I say were my favorites? I feel like I want to do an ACOTAR reread because it's been like 2 years since I've read them. And I was talking to somebody, I think it was Aaron, mentioned something that like happened in the book, and I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, and so I was like, I don't remember that at all. So, but I mean, I did love Akatar. Akatar is the series that fully gave me my like fairy my husband calls it the fairy porn addiction. Even though that's not like the porn side of it is very minimal. There's so much more storyline and plot that goes into it.
I just saw a video the other day. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it was like, butcher it, but it's something about my smut books are 20 pages of smut and 460 pages of storyline and plot line.
Yes, you did send me that, and it is so true. Yes, like they're like the whole romantasy genre, like Akatar fully got me addicted to that genre, and I am fine with that. Like I am loving my life.
Gateway drug to this genre. Like,
Seriously.
because I know so many people that started with that. I started with that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like when I was embarking on the Sarah J. Maas world, that everybody said Throne of Glass was by far the number one series, Akatar number two, and Crescent City number three. And I have felt like my opinion of liking Akatar more than Throne of Glass has been the unpopular opinion. But the more I talk to people, I'm finding that they say the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would totally agree with you. I would probably put Akatar. I think I would still put Akatar first.
Hmm.
We'll see how book 6 and 7. But I mean, it's also not a completed series. So as far as completed series, and I know Crescent City's. I've heard rumors that it is and isn't finished.
I've heard mixed reviews too. I thought it was not finished originally. Then I read it and I thought it was finished. And then I heard recently it might not be finished.
Yeah. So I mean, I think she ended it in a very, very good place. That like, if she doesn't write another book, like I'm okay with like that. But I'm also curious to see like if she does write another book. I think there are some avenues that could still that are still left open. But honestly, like I loved Crescent City, like more than I thought I would, because I heard so many different mixed reviews from people that were like, book one is so hard to get through. And I was like, I was hooked from the beginning. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, there's like this murder. Like, what? It was like murder mystery from the beginning. And then it just transforms into so much more. But I mean, Throne of Glass will always be Throne of Glass, but it is a journey. And there's just so much to it, which also makes it like so good. But I don't know. I loved Crescent City because it was a little bit lighter than other as what I felt. I mean, some people I'm sure would probably tell you opposite, but I feel like it wasn't so like war and blah, like stuff that kind of that romantasy genre can get into.
Yeah.
Like there were things, but there was also like I don't know. I really thoroughly loved I love Bryce. I feel like I Bryce is such a character that I can relate to
I feel
with
like
her
that's
like
also an unpopular opinion. Mind Bryce. I mean, I think there were times she annoyed me, but like I feel like a lot of the female main characters, because in these books they do so much growing, they start off obnoxious as fuck. And then by the end you love them and you walked that growing journey with them. And then so I feel like for me it was similar to that. It was like, oh my God, she's an annoying party girl in the beginning. But I've talked to a lot of people that were like, oh my God, she's so fucking annoying.
oh my god, I love her. Like her just like don't give a fuck, like joking, like her like because that's kind of how I am of like in situations like where there's like maybe like death happening and she's like making a joke about it. Like, that is me. So I very much connected with her character because I felt like it was relatable to my personality.
Also a modern day fantasy, which is always weird. Like, I like it because it's different, but it's also kind of weird, right? Like, fantasy worlds are always like medieval times and like, and Crescent City had like cell phones and weapons.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it got a bad rap being in the Sarah J. Maas world, and I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. Good job, Sarah.
so yeah. What's next? I know you're reading
Um,
something else right
I'm currently halfway through. It's called The Life Impossible. It's by Matt Haig, however you say his last name. But he also wrote, which was still one of my favorite books. It's called The Midnight Library.
I know I still need to read that. You keep telling me to read it.
I will let you borrow it. It is so good. It's an easy read, but just like such a good story. And this one's very similar, where it's like it's so much different than like, and it keeps like transforming into like not what I thought it was going to be. So I'm really enjoying it. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm like, gosh, I think I'm even like 3/4 of the way through that one. So
Well, once you finish the Crescent City books that are like dictionaries.
I know. I'm trying to decide what to do after this one because I love this little break, but I love my romantasy. So
I do
I'm
love getting the break because the like plot lines and tropes and stuff are all similar.
right.
That I do start to get like, okay, this is predictable. I'm ready for something different. So I do like to change it up a little bit too. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to kind of have a little bit. And there is kind of like magic,
okay.
sort of like in this. I wouldn't call it magic. It's more like energy or
Okay.
like yeah. I don't want to like say anything without
Okay.
like
Don't spoil
spoiling anything, but there is an extra
it.
layer. So yeah, but it's really good.
And so what are you trying to decide between after that?
I'm trying to decide. I started following this girl on Instagram who does a lot of like specifically like romantasy genre, like ratings, or if you liked this, you would like this kind of thing. So I have the first book of Guild, which is the Plated Prisoner series, and that one's 6 books. So I'm like, but I'm trying to decide if I really want to jump into a 6 book series.
The beginning ones are not very big.
Okay.
The first three, I'm like looking at mine right now on my shelf. One and two are quite manageable. I would say one is probably similar to the size you're reading now. Well, maybe. I guess you have it, so you would know. It looks really
I'd
small
have to look.
to me. But then four, five, and six are pretty fat. But they're relatively easy reads. But anyways, okay, so maybe Guild. Is that about it?
Maybe Guild. I have been, and I know you've read them.
Sparrows.
Yeah, Shield of Sparrows and Rights. What was the second one?
So it's actually, when I listened to the audiobook, it's Rightus of the Starling. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
It looks like rights, but it's pronounced rightus.
Oh, okay. So I'm debating that one, because that one's just 2 books.
Yeah. It's gonna be three.
It's gonna be 3. Yes. I mean, yeah. So, but I'm just trying to decide if I want to do something that's like either a standalone or like maybe like a 2 book, potentially 3 book series, kind of thing, or if I want to jump into a 6 book series.
It can be a commitment for sure.
So
Yeah.
that's
Nice. Well, that's exciting. You have lots of great choices. So, yay. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
yeah, definitely.
Maybe we should do it more.
Random night podcast.
And just chit chat and, talk about deep things. And I don't know, it's fun.
Right.
And we can talk about books because that's like our favorite thing.
Yeah. I know
Always
you've got me
idea.
fully addicted.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm fully off the rails at this point. I don't know. Like, I think I'm on book 17 of this year so far.
Oh my God.
I've never read this many books in my life in one year.
You have been cruising. Like the other day when you were like, I finished that. I was like, it's been like 4 days.
I think I'm becoming a crotchety hermit. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm like not socializing as much. Every time I'm at home, I'm not listening to podcasts and music as much as I used to because I'm listening to books instead.
I know my competitive side of me is trying to keep up with you, and I can't.
Well, I think that's a little bit of it for me too. Like one of my really good friends, she read like 75 books last year. And I was like,
Gosh.
I want to read that many books. So that might be part of my motivation. But I also have been slightly concerned that I'm avoiding real life.
Do I need to host an intervention?
Maybe. Because I just want to like escape the reality of life sometimes. Because it's just, like I talked about in my last episode, it's hard. So I'm slightly concerned about that. I really should probably see a therapist again and talk about it because I know that reading can be a distraction as well, but I love it. It is so fantastic. So
Yeah, it's good for your brain.
there's things, you know?
Right. Yeah. So many, so many.
But me becoming a crotchety hermit is probably not great.
Yeah, you're too young for that.
Yeah, I'm like, go out and do something or stay in and read my book. Probably not great. I mean, I don't know. I'm still doing things. It's not like I've just like, I mean, we're gonna hang out this weekend. Like, I have
Yes.
plans, but I do love my alone time at home with my books. So
Well, and you have an amazing shed to read in now, so
I know. How do you not love this?
yeah, I'm jealous.
I'll get you one someday. All right, my dear. Well, we should probably close it down, but thank you so much. This has been so fun.
You're welcome. Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and thank you for the conversation about, Mother's Day and everything. Like, I know that's hard and everything. So, and then, yeah, I think we had some really great talks today. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.